Regina Sanders, and welcome to Saturday Morning Discovery here at the Southwest School of Art. Okay, so we're going to be starting with collages today, and there are all kinds of collages that you can do. And the best thing about doing collage is that you need very little equipment. You don't need a lot of things. If you don't have cardstock, again, you can use cardboard. And you can also multi-layer. That's the whole thing about collage. It's telling a story. It's another way of communicating and filling a small space or a big space with your ideas and your unique thoughts about what you're thinking about at this present time. For this collage, this is a collage that I did, and it's all about under the water and what happens under the water. And for this kind of storytelling, I did a drawing first. So when you're thinking about collage or anything else, sometimes it's really good to think about having a small drawing. It's just a simple sketch. It doesn't have to be real detailed, because you're going to be cutting out things all the time to fit your picture, and you may change it at any time. So therefore, I wanted to tell the story. I knew I wanted to have coral in there, so that's why I drew this. And as you can see, I have all my cutouts here, and this isn't necessarily really coral. It could be just newspaper, or this was just a magazine. So, and I also didn't shy away from drawing into it. So I cut out some little fish, and I just glued them down as well. So you don't have to just go by just your drawing. You can incorporate some of your drawings into the collage and just use colored paper, or in this case, what I did was use some greeting cards. This was all done in greeting cards. Again, I did draw the drawing out first, and this is actually a drawing that's going up in here. I did a small kind of thing. This is my floral piece and my underwater piece, and then this is my decorative piece, and it was really my daughter sitting down. And this also, if you just have cardboard, you can put a backing onto it. So if you don't like the color of the board, you can paint it a color, or you can cut out. I would suggest you just cut out a color that you like in construction paper or copy paper. It doesn't matter. So for collage, you don't need a lot of materials. They're very simple, and a lot of these things you have at home. You're going to need for your base cardstock. Or if you don't have cardstock, you can use a light piece of cardboard from a cereal box. Doesn't matter. So this particular cardstock, you want to make sure that you have it the size of what you're thinking about doing. So in this case, this piece that I'm doing here, and it's just in case you want to do the same size, this is measuring 6 by 10. So this is what this is. So this is a small piece, and I would suggest you go small first and then go large, because large, you're going to have to be thinking about what it is that you want to put in there. So you're going to need that, and also you're going to need your resource. So resourcing is from magazines like National Geographic, Art News, or a newspaper, or just a cardstock, or gift cards that someone's given you and you really like the images off of. Anything that you like, that you see imagery, and sometimes even letters or words, they all go into your collage that you're thinking. So the challenge today is going to be a little bit different. Remember I said that you should kind of draw out your design? Well, this time, for the first time, let it be a smaller piece, and this time just go through and look at imagery and start picking out and tearing out pages, and that's what I did. So I'm going to challenge you all to look at imagery and see. Again, the materials are glue, a good pair of scissors, glue stick. This is in case you need to draw circles, and I'll show you why later. And it's just a top from a from probably a honey jar or from a cleaning something. It's just a little top, but it's a perfect round circle. And you're gonna need a pencil, just in case you want to draw, and a ruler if you want to make sure that you have the right sizing that you want to deal with. Okay? So now that we have that and we have our cardstock, let's get started. Okay guys, this is what I've decided, and my challenge to you is to pull out different imagery that you like from different magazines or anything that you find, even comic books or old coloring books that you've had, anything that's lying around, cards that your parents don't care that you cut up. They could be playing cards or Uno cards, things like that. So I'm going to challenge you to find all those little things and have your glue and have your cardstock ready to think about. When you look at it, look and see what kind of color do you want. Is it going to be black and white mostly? Is it going to be all colorful? Try and decide those things by the imagery in which you have chosen. And because what I've chosen to do is a fantasy piece, I saw this Washington Cathedral, and I really liked it because it's like a drawing. It's not really a picture. So I like that idea of it. So I'm going to use this. And I found these wonderful birds, and I've already started cutting them out. They were just flying around. And what you've noticed here is they're all kind of going into this green board. So I'm going to try and keep it in that kind of frame of color. And I found these wonderful imageries of cats. So I've got these cats, and they're all doing, and kittens, they're doing wonderful things. So this is going to be my fantasy piece. And I even have a little drawing of the moon that I did. So this drawing of the moon, I've already cut out the cat that's going to be hanging from it. So I'm going to put that on there too. So I am storytelling with this piece. And so that's what I want you to kind of do. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut out the main portion of this, which is going to be this cathedral. And I'm not going to use all of it because I'm just going to use the parts where I can have the birds flying through it or around it, and the cats either climbing it or flying in the sky with the birds. So we shall see. I don't know how it's going to come out. And that's the wonderful thing about, because I didn't draw this out. Remember I said that you can draw yours out? When you draw it out, you kind of know what's going to happen. But with this, I'm kind of working with it as it goes. So it's going to be a surprise even to me. I have my cathedral now, which was my main part of my story. And it's a cathedral. I'm looking at it like it's a castle. So this is my fantasy piece. And I'm basing everything off of how everything is set up for this fantasy piece. And I had this little mouse here. And I have my little cat here, my little kitten here. And remember I told you I drew this moon, and all I did was take this to make the moon, and I'll do it over here again. That's all I did. Just go around it. And if I wanted a half moon, I just drew inside it. Usually I'll do a face in it and have it like that. So let's see. But I kind of like the idea of just the cat hanging out. I mean, I got so much with the cathedral here. So we'll see which one looks better. But I'm going to cut out this one first since I've already done it. And before I glue everything down, I just wanted I think this looks so good here. So I'm kind of liking that by itself. So we'll leave him there. We have the mouse here. And we have these birds, so I wanted them to be flying up over and across. You see, it's filling up pretty well here. I had these wonderful this little kitten here. He's kind of fun. So I'm going to keep placing these and moving them around to see where they look best. Okay, so now I have placed down all of my pieces. I know where I want everything to go. If you have your phone or your camera, take a picture of it. Nothing is glued down yet, but this is the story I want to tell. This is my fantasy story. This is all from just the resources that I had, that I pulled in the pictures I like. So that was the challenge, to find as many pieces and exotic or exciting cards or things that you had and put together your own story. So this is my final piece. I'm gonna put it on here and glue it all down. And once I have that down, I'm gonna glue everything down, and that's gonna be my story. And as you can see, I might go over, I decided to make the man in the moon with the little kitten hanging off of it. So I'm gonna go back over that probably with a deeper pencil or with an ink pen, all right? So now let's start gluing it down. All right, so I'm placing in my last little animal. It's, oddly enough, it's not a bird, it's a blue giraffe, but it's keeping up with the color scheme. I've got these violets and greens and hard, dark lines in here. And my last little bit to do, if I can get it open, is with the Sharpie. I'm just gonna go over my moon, my man in the moon here. So with everything, you're gonna take your time, tell your story well. Okay, so the piece is done. Ta-da! Thanks, guys. Thank you for being with me here at Saturday Morning Discovery. See you next time.